there are fast men, there are living legends, and then there's Superman, the man of steel, the symbol of power, justice, and mercy. The hero who can lift continents, survive black holes, and outrun light itself when he chooses. To him, speed is not just a gift, it's a weapon. But somewhere across the multiverse, another man once whispered, "You can't hit what you can't catch." His name was Pietro Maximoff. To the world, he was Quicksilver, the mutant born with lightning in his veins. A man who lived between seconds, who saw the world move like molasses, who grew impatient not because he wanted to, but because everyone else was too slow. And when these two titans of motion crossed paths, the universe itself held its breath. It began when a dimensional rift tore open between Earths. A crack formed from cosmic imbalance after a battle between the Justice League and the Avengers shattered the barriers of space and time. Through that rift, worlds collided. Metropolis met Manhattan. Stark Tower flickered beside the Daily Planet. And amid the confusion, heroes encountered their mirrored reflections. Superman, scanning the breach, detected a surge of kinetic energy unlike anything he had seen before. It wasn't the Flash. It wasn't any speed force he knew. It was something alien, pure mutation, raw and uncontrolled. Then a blur shot past him. A streak of silver and blue cut through the skyline, knocking over parked cars and bending streetlights with shockwaves. The wind it carried was sharp enough to slice steel. Superman narrowed his eyes. "That wasn't Barry," he heard laughter. "Nice cape," a voice said. Fast, mocking, echoing from everywhere at once. Before Superman could respond, Quicksilver was standing before him. Arms crossed, smirk sharp as a blade. "So you're the alien everyone worships here? The Golden Boy? Tell me, are you fast, or just famous?" Superman smiled faintly. Fast enough. The air around them vibrated. Two forces of nature stared each other down, every atom trembling between their heartbeats. The crowd that had gathered didn't even realize they were about to witness the impossible. Quicksilver vanished first, a flicker of silver slicing the street apart. Superman moved in the same instant, his cape snapping like thunder. When they collided, the world bent. Every molecule in the air screamed. Windows shattered. Dust froze midair as both men moved faster than light could follow. The city flickered like a broken film reel. Skyscrapers twisting, streets warping. To human eyes, nothing happened. To them, it was an eternity. Inside that eternity, Quicksilver was laughing. "You're strong, big guy, but strength isn't speed," Superman replied, his voice calm even as the world slowed to stillness. "And speed without control is chaos." Quicksilver darted behind him, striking with 1,000 punches in the time it took a neuron to fire. But each strike met nothing, only air. Superman was gone. Then, from above, a shadow fell. A crimson blur slammed him into the ground, carving a crater through asphalt. "Not bad," Superman said. "But you're not faster than thought." Quicksilver grinned through the pain. "Maybe not, but I'm faster than mercy." He twisted time around himself, his body vibrating between moments, every movement erasing the last. He moved so fast that even Superman's eyes blurred. For the first time, the Man of Steel felt something rare, pressure. The ground cracked. Air burned. The race began not for victory, but survival. Quicksilver's words echoed through the roaring wind. "Let's see if the God of Light can catch the man who outran death." And with that, the two vanished into the horizon. One streak of red and blue, one of silver fire. The world below could only watch as lightning stitched across the sky. Because when Superman and Quicksilver ran, time itself began to break. Across continents, oceans, and skies, the world blurred into streaks of color and thunder. Superman and Quicksilver were no longer running through cities, they were tearing through the very fabric of reality. Every step from Superman sent shockwaves through the planet's crust. Every stride from Quicksilver ripped apart the atmosphere itself. They raced past mountains that turned to dust, oceans that boiled under friction, clouds split open by their speed. To the rest of humanity, it was nothing more than flashes of light. To them, it was war in motion, Quicksilver darted ahead, his laughter echoing through the upper atmosphere. "You're slowing down, blue boy. I thought Kryptonians were supposed to be gods." Superman's eyes narrowed. "If you think speed makes you a god, Pietro, then you've already lost." The air ignited between them. Quicksilver moved first, accelerating beyond light, tachyon velocity. For an instant, he was everywhere, 100 versions of himself striking from every angle. Superman blocked one, dodged another, then let his heat vision flare outward. A burst of solar fire so intense it split the clouds open like curtains. Quicksilver staggered but smirked. "Hot temper, huh?" Superman didn't answer. He was already gone. In the blink of an eye, they crossed into the stratosphere, streaking through orbit, past satellites that melted in their wake. Superman surged ahead, energy crackling across his body like living lightning. His cells drank sunlight, every photon fueling him like a reactor. Quicksilver, panting, gritted his teeth. "Not yet. I'm not done." He pushed harder. His body screamed. His atoms tore apart and reformed. The speed gene that made him Quicksilver began to mutate, pulling him faster than his own biology could comprehend. He reached into the space between seconds, a place mortals weren't meant to exist. Suddenly, the stars flickered. The universe twisted. They weren't just running across Earth anymore. They were slipping through dimensions. Each stride carried them through a different world. One moment the deserts of Wakanda, the next the frozen wastes of the Fortress of Solitude, then the jungles of Themyscira. They ran across timelines, through the quantum realm, and into the phantom echoes of the Speed Force itself. There, for a single heartbeat, Barry Allen appeared, his voice echoing like thunder in eternity. "Superman, don't chase him too far. The faster you go, the more you lose." But Quicksilver didn't listen. He darted past the Flash's warning, deeper into the white storm of pure time, and Superman followed. Inside that storm, reality flickered like lightning. Every moment in history existed at once. They ran past Krypton before its fall. They ran through Sokovia before its destruction. They saw lives rise and end in the blink of an eye. Quicksilver looked around, awe breaking through arrogance. "Is this what you see when you move like this?" Superman's voice echoed through the void. "No, this is what I protect from being destroyed." But Quicksilver didn't stop. He was consumed by speed, by pride, by the desire to prove himself against a god. He accelerated again, fracturing into light, racing faster than time could record. The space around him bent. His body began to phase apart. Superman realized the danger first. If Quicksilver broke the temporal barrier, the timeline would collapse. Both their worlds could unravel. He pushed forward, shattering through layers of time like glass, reaching for Pietro's arm. "Stop! You're going to tear reality apart." Quicksilver looked back, his form flickering between molecules. "Then catch me, alien!" Superman grabbed him. The impact exploded through the time stream, a blast of energy that echoed across multiverses. Both heroes were thrown into darkness. When Superman opened his eyes, they were no longer in any world he recognized. The sky was a sea of mirrors. Time itself flowed like liquid glass. Quicksilver stood nearby, trembling, light flickering across his skin. His voice was quiet now, almost human. "I didn't mean to. I just wanted to prove I wasn't weak." Superman looked around, the shimmering ruins of 1,000 timelines frozen mid-collapse. "Speed doesn't make you weak, Pietro. It's what you choose to do with it." The ground beneath them cracked. Shards of broken time began to fall into nothingness. The multiverse was collapsing, dragging both of them into oblivion. Superman reached out his hand. "Let me help you. Together we can fix this." Quicksilver hesitated, then nodded. For the first time, there was no competition in his eyes. Only resolve. Both men turned toward the collapsing horizon, their speed combining into one blinding surge of energy. Superman's solar power merged with Quicksilver's kinetic field, a fusion of mutation and Kryptonian light. And in that instant, the two fastest men alive became something more, a force that could rewrite time itself. The cosmic horizon cracked open like shattered glass as Superman and Quicksilver ran side by side. Not through space, not through time, but through the void between moments. Every heartbeat echoed like a century. Every breath birthed a new timeline. Reality itself trembled under their combined force. Superman's cape blazed with golden light. Quicksilver's trail shimmered like liquid mercury. Two storms colliding in eternity. Faster! Superman shouted, his voice cutting through the roar of the collapsing multiverse. We can stabilize the rift. Quicksilver grinned, blood on his lips. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Superman didn't answer. He was too focused. Eyes glowing bright as stars, muscles straining against impossible pressure. He was channeling every ounce of solar energy in his body into the fabric of time itself. But then, something changed. A presence stirred within the white void. A voice, ancient, heavy, infinite, filled the collapsing dimension. You trespass where only eternity walks. The light darkened. Space itself folded. And before them rose a colossal being, Eternity, the living embodiment of the Marvel Universe. His form was an endless silhouette of galaxies, stars swirling inside him like thought. Quicksilver froze mid-run, eyes wide. Oh no! Superman's jaw tightened. He had seen gods. He had fought doomsday, dark-side beings of unimaginable power, but nothing like this. Eternity wasn't power. He was existence. You have torn the threads that separate your universes. Eternity's voice thundered. Your race has broken balance. Quicksilver looked down, guilt flickering in his eyes. I didn't mean. Intent is irrelevant. The act is done. Superman stepped forward, his voice steady. Then let me fix it. The cosmic being's eyes, burning nebulae, turned toward him. You are not of this reality, Kryptonian. You are a paradox. I'm a protector, Superman said. No matter the universe. For a moment, Eternity said nothing. Then the stars within him dimmed. Very well. The rift will close, but at a cost. The void began to convulse. Energy surged like lightning through the multiverse. Quicksilver stumbled as his own body flickered, fading in and out of existence. What's happening? Superman looked at him, the truth dawning. It's taking you back, Pietro. Back to your reality. It's the only way to stop the collapse. Quicksilver's eyes widened. And you? I'll stay, Superman said quietly. Someone has to hold the breach shut. Quicksilver grabbed his hand, trembling. You'll die. Superman smiled faintly. Maybe. But at least you'll live. Quicksilver's face twisted with emotion. Pride, anger, sorrow, all at once. For the first time, he wasn't racing against Superman. He was trying not to lose him. Then, with one last surge of energy, the void erupted. A final, brilliant explosion of blue and red light. Quicksilver vanished, hurled back through the timelines, back into his world. Superman remained, his form glowing like a dying star. He could feel his cells tearing apart, his atoms stretching between universes. But he held on, one last act of will, one final stand for both worlds. He thought of Lois, of Clark Kent, of every life he had sworn to protect. He thought of a world that once mourned him, and another that had never known him. And then, with a final, defiant smile, he whispered, "Faster than a speeding bullet." The void collapsed. When Quicksilver awoke, he was lying in the middle of New York, the sky above him calm and blue. The world was normal again, as if nothing had ever happened. But there, far above the clouds, a faint red streak shimmered for just a moment, the echo of a cape fluttering against infinity. Quicksilver stared upward, whispering, "He did it! He really did it!" Days later, the world went on. The Avengers carried on their battles. The Justice League guarded their Earth. Two universes, both safe, both unaware of the sacrifice that held them together. Yet, in the quiet of the Phantom Zone, a spark of crimson light began to pulse. A heartbeat, a whisper, not gone, just between worlds. The Man of Steel was not dead. He was trapped between time itself, waiting for the moment to return. And somewhere in another world, Pietro Maximoff still ran. Not to win, not to prove, but to honor the one being who had shown him what true speed meant. Because in the end, it wasn't about who was faster. It was about who never stopped running, even when time itself stood still.